Alright, so this power station is not really the star of this video, but it will be playing a role. My little YouTube studio here is just in the garage of my toy hauler, and there's just not enough room in here to show the real star. And that's this 400-watt portable solar panel from Renogy. I've been trying to get this video made for over a week now, and to try and see how many watts we can actually pull in. However, the weather just really hasn't been cooperating, and it's been cloudy and overcast for over a week, and according to the weather app, it's looking like it's going to be that way for the next 10 days or so. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this video, and we're going to test this thing out with some less than ideal weather and see how it performs. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up this 400-watt panel to this power station, and we're going to see how long it takes to charge it up. All right, so let's go outside, get this panel hooked up, get this power station connected, and check it out. It has this big pocket on the side to store extension cables or adapter cables and stuff like that, but it doesn't come with one. I'm using this one here, and I'll drop a link to that in the description box if you're interested. The solar panel comes in a nice heavy-duty ripstop type nylon carrying case. It's got a couple of zippers that zip all the way down to make it easy to get the panel in and out. The handle is metal and attached to the solar panel rather than the case itself, which is great because that means there's no stress being put on the bottom of the case when you carry it. The rigid design makes this super easy to set it up, way easier than most portable solar panels. You can get it done in under 60 seconds. It's got a rigid aluminum frame and it weighs about 32 pounds, which is pretty lightweight for a rigid panel, and that's because it uses an ETFE coating instead of glass. It's rated to exceed IP67 waterproof rating, which protects it from dirt, dust, and rain. Unlike most portable solar panels, this design is built to last for decades, even with heavy use. Even these metal kickstands here is quite an upgrade from a fabric panel that uses some sort of rigid material wrapped in some sort of fabric, which is just simply not going to last. It's got a pair of MC4 cables coming off the back. So I'm just going to connect up my 25-foot extension cable, which is a nice 10-gauge cable, which can totally handle the length. This one's got the XT60i connector on the end of it, which is backwards compatible with the standard XT60, which is what this power station uses. But some other power stations require the XT60i, so that's why I have this particular cable, so that it can be used on any power station. All right, we're starting this test here late in the day, and it's an overcast day, but we're going to go ahead and see how long it's going to take to get this power station charged off of this 400-watt panel. All right, we're starting this test off at 4%. We're currently pulling in 333 watts, and the time is 1:03 p.m. We're going to see if we can get this done and fully charged in a single day, starting this late in the day. Let's see what happens.
A few moments later.
All right, the clouds seem to really consolidate right around the sun, so I wanted to just show how we've dropped down to 230 watts coming in, which is still pretty darn good considering how cloudy it actually is. All right, it's right about an hour later. Let's see how we're doing. All right, we're up to 39%. We're back up to 300 and a little over 300 watts. And we're already, like I said, at almost 40% here. And that's in just over an hour. All right, here we're about 2 hours into it here, and we're up to 68%, but we've also dropped down to 247 watts coming in. It is getting a little bit late in the day for January here in Arizona. All right, we're up to 97% now, and we're 3 hours and 3 minutes into this thing, so we're almost done. So that did really, really well considering the sun was really not good. All right, we're at the end of the day here. The sun's going down. It's 4:32 p.m. We're at 99%. I did adjust the panels to aim it right at the sun so I can get a little bit more coming in here. And we got this up to 99% where it's been sitting there for quite a while. All right, so just as I went to disconnect everything and bring it back inside before it got dark, it did end up hitting the 100% mark. I have about 20 different power stations. They all seem to do the same thing. They get up to 99% on the display, and getting that last 1% in there takes substantially longer. I believe that happens because the cells are balancing out at that point, and the percentage meter is recalibrating and that kind of thing. So I was hoping to be able to show the max input on this panel for this video, but the sun just hasn't been cooperating with me for weeks now. But I'm quite impressed with its performance in less than optimal conditions. I did have it pulling in 380 watts at one point when there was a small break in the clouds for a moment, but I didn't manage to get that on camera before it dropped back down to 330 because the clouds came back, kind of rolled back in. I do have two other 400 watt portable solar panels, and both of them are lucky to get 330 watts in perfect conditions, and this was pulling in 330 watts with cloud cover in January. So I'm really quite impressed with its performance. And as far as I'm concerned, this is the best 400 watt solar panel money can buy. I will definitely be making some follow-up videos on this in the future when it's not winter and not cloudy. But in many ways, this was the more realistic test of actual performance by not being in optimal conditions, really. All right, so let's go over some of the specs on this panel really quick, because you want to make sure that your power station or solar charge controller can handle both the voltage and amperage of this panel. All right, so as you can see here, the voltage open circuit is 47.2 volts, and the short circuit current is 11 amps. So you want to make sure that your power station or your charge controller can handle both of those as a max voltage and the max current or amperage. Now, in my case, this was perfect for this All Powers R1500, which it shows right here. Let's see if I can zoom in nice and close here. A lot of times they're reflected right here is the max settings that you can, or the max input that you can have for your power station. And this one is 12 to 95 volts and 13 amps max. So this was the perfect panel for this All Powers R1500. So you just want to check and make sure what your max input is on your equipment. So if you're interested in this panel and you need a little bit of help with figuring out if it's going to be compatible with your power station or your solar charge controller or whatever, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to try to help you out and make sure it's going to work for you. All right, so here's my final thoughts. So in my opinion, the durable design of this panel makes this Renogy 400 watt solar suitcase, they're calling it, the ultimate portable solar panel, especially for anyone traveling full-time or doing the van life thing or any situation where portable panels will be outside in all sorts of weather and pretty much all the time, besides when you're traveling, of course. You can't really expect a fabric panel to hold up under conditions that are constant use like that, and the price on this panel is right on par with most of those fabric type ones. So that makes this a no-brainer for me. They do also have a 220 watt version as well, but I don't have one of those to show or test out, but I don't think I would hesitate to get one of those if I was in the market for a smaller one about around that size. I'll drop links to both of those down in the description, as well as this power station here, and any discount codes that I can get out of them or whatever to try to save you a couple bucks, I'll drop those down below as well. Using my links is a great way to support the channel. So full disclosure here, I do make a couple of bucks on it if someone uses my links to make purchases, and I really do appreciate those of you who do that. If you found this video useful, a quick thumbs up on it is also a great way to help me out. I got big plans for the channel this year, and if you enjoy content about solar and off-grid stuff, or you're into practical preparedness type of content, you might consider going ahead and smashing that subscribe button as well. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.